Well, hello, and welcome to my NXT Takeover 30 and SummerSlam predictions, in case you couldn't read the title for yourself. Presumably, I'm going to go over my predictions for NXT Takeover 30 and SummerSlam. So, we'll just start off with the pre-show match, the Triple Threat number 1 contender tag team match, because for some reason they couldn't do this last week and have the actual championships featured on the pay-per-view. It's Breezango versus Legado del Fantasma and Birch and Lorcan. Breezango and Fantasma are in a feud kind of right now, so I don't think either of them would legitimately win the match. I think one of them might cost the other the victory, but then they get distracted somehow, and then Birch and Lorcan will capitalize, and I think that would be the most legitimate and probable outcome of the match. Because I don't see Breezango winning, I don't see Fantasma winning, because I feel like they're going to branch off and do their own little feud thing and fight each other to the death. And then next on the list, Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Velveteen Dream, the most controversial entrant in this ladder match, versus Johnny Gargano versus Cameron Grimes. I already said that, didn't I? So Cameron Grimes twice. Cameron Grimes is entering the ladder match twice. You heard it here first. Breaking news. Okay. So this one, my pick is Cameron Grimes, although I feel like Velveteen Dream definitely has a chance at winning. Despite all the controversies and all the heat he's garnering right now, I think he stands a legitimate chance. So if it's not Grimes, I really feel like it's Velveteen Dream. When Loomis was in the ladder match before he was injured, I was 100% confident that he was going to win. But now I feel like everyone in this match has like a legitimate possibility besides like Bronson Reed, because he doesn't really have the build-up and he hasn't been in NXT all that long. At least not long enough to capture the championship. But Loomis definitely had a lot of momentum going in, and I feel like if they put him in the ladder match at all, he was definitely going to be given the ball to run with. But unfortunately, he was injured, so he's been taken out of this match. So my pick, it's Grime time. He's going to take that belt, and he's going all the way to the moon. And then we have Io Shirai versus the big dog, Dakota Kai. Now, you know me, I love Dakota Kai, and I really want Dakota to win. But unfortunately, I have to put my fandom aside and be realistic here. I think Io Shirai is walking away with the belt. And that depresses me greatly. But it's probably true. Although I'll still be rooting for Dakota because she is the best of the best. Then Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has got a lot of heat. I know quite a few people are not happy that he's stepping into the ring. But he's being a great heel. You know, his last promo on the past NXT, he just went off on Adam Cole. He's like being the superior human being, athlete, etc. Obviously, Adam Cole's got to win this 100%, but I feel like Pat McAfee doesn't deserve the actual hate he's getting because he's a funny guy. He's good at what he's doing, and we haven't seen him in the ring yet, so we can't really criticize his ability just yet because we don't know what he's capable of. So if he's completely shit in his match, then go ahead, shit on him all you'd like, but all the shit he's getting right now, I don't feel like it's warranted, but he is a heel, so it makes sense why people hate him. I guess so. He's doing his job. He's doing it well. But Adam Cole's definitely got to win, and a lot of people are saying this is going to be a face turn for Adam Cole, so they can go to the main roster as a face Undisputed Era, which would definitely be interesting. But yeah, Adam Cole, 100%. I don't even think McAfee stands a chance in winning this at all. So Cole, and then the main event, presumably Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. This is very interesting because Keith has been on a dominant run and he's only recently gotten the championship. So presumably they wouldn't have him drop the belt this early on. But Karrion Kross has also been being built like a monster, decimating Ciampa at the last takeover in 3 to 5 minutes or something. It was insane. One of the top guys just completely murdered by Kross. And then Kross has been murdering person after person. He killed Dijakovic and then teased Keith Lee with it. And then Scarlett Bordeaux kissed the contract and made it spontaneously combust into Keith Lee's face. So, this is a hard one. What I've been thinking is going to happen, I've been thinking it's going to be some sort of no contest, whether it's a double disqualification or whether it's like these two guys take each other to their limit and they are incapable of competing anymore. They can't answer like a 10 count or something, or they both get counted out. Or I don't know how, but I feel like I don't think there's going to be a legitimate winner for this one. I think it's going to end in a no contest. There's going to be a massive brawl. Because both of them have been built up like complete monsters. And it wouldn't make sense to have one of them lose this early on into their push. I guess Keith's push has been going on longer than Kross's, but he's been built up as like a legitimate unstoppable force. So Yeah, I feel like that one's gonna have a no contest. So obviously Keith Lee retains because he doesn't get pinned or submitted, but there's no actual winner for this one, in my opinion. So then going on to SummerSlam, we have the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now this one could go either way, and Andrade and Garza already had a Tag Team Championship opportunity, and I feel like they're gonna lose again, but I don't know because I don't know if the WWE would book them to lose 2 tag title shots in a row. So that kind of makes me lean towards making Garza and Andrade the winners. But I really feel like I don't think the Street Profits are done. And if they are done, it's definitely not gonna. They're definitely not dropping the belts to Garza and Andrade. They just haven't. It hasn't felt like they've been legitimized enough. So Profits are gonna retain. Apollo Crews versus MVP for the United States Championship. Now I hate Apollo Crews because he screwed me out of $400, but that is beside the point. I think tonight, assuming he does wrestle and doesn't screw me again, I think he will retain his United States Championship because MVP, I don't know, he's obviously past his prime. I think he's just in there as filler. I don't think he has a chance at all. Apollo Crews has definitely got this in the bag. Either that or maybe like Lashley attacks him and causes a DQ or something stupid like that, but Apollo retains 100%. And then this either sets up like Bobby Lashley to pursue the United States Championship or something else. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what's next for the Hurt Business after this. Because they haven't been doing much. I don't think they're going to enter tag team competition because they seem to be doing their own single stuff. So maybe Lashley goes after the United States Championship because Shelton Benjamin seems pretty set on the 24/7 title. But yeah, Apollo Crews retains, and then whatever happens, happens. As much as I hate Apollo, I want Apollo to lose, 100%. But he's not going to. Then we have Dominic versus Seth Rollins in a street fight. So, obviously, a street fight means there's no disqualifications, and that means anyone can interfere at any time. So, Rollins has Murphy in his corner, and Dominic will have Mysterio in his corner. And then possibly Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo as well, because Rollins and his Messiah gang have been screwing with Rey Mysterio this entire time, and them as well. I want Seth Rollins to win, and I pick Seth Rollins to win, but I feel like this is my least confident pick, because I just don't like Dominic. I feel like, to me, he's just some random goofball. I don't see him winning. He's not like a legitimate wrestler to me. But I feel like they might have like this redemption storyline. He's doing it for his dad. He's going to win for his dad. He's the ultimate babyface, you know. But I just want to see Seth win. I want to see Seth kick his ass. I really do. So I'm hoping Seth wins, and I'm picking Seth to win, though this is my least confident pick. And then we get to the women's title matches. Sasha Banks versus Asuka, and then Bayley versus Asuka. Now, this one is also a challenging pick to make because Asuka's already lost to Sasha twice. I put quotes because the first one was an iffy loss because Bayley was the referee. And I don't know if they'd make Asuka lose again. So unless there's some sort of disqualification finish or something like that, I think Asuka will win the Raw Women's Championship. And I think Bayley will retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. And if Bayley's match comes before Sasha's match, I think Bayley might accidentally cost Sasha her title, and that might set up the breakup between Banks and Bayley. But if Bayley's match is after Sasha's match, I really don't know how they're going to work this at all. This is definitely an interesting situation because Asuka, like I said, she's already lost to Sasha multiple times. She's nowhere near the monster she used to be when she was the undefeated Asuka. So I don't really know how this could end. Because another thing I was thinking was Sasha would cost Bayley her match, and Asuka would be the SmackDown Women's Champion, and that would be the setting up the avenue for their rivalry. But like I said, I'm just not quite sure. So I'm going to say Asuka beats Sasha, but then Bayley retains. Either that or there's some sort of shenanigans, you know, in both of their matches, like they usually do. I'm not quite sure how they're going to work this because they've done these matches before. So there has to be something different. Otherwise, they're just doing the same thing over and over again. And then Braun Strowman versus The Fiend for the Universal Championship. Now, obviously, The Fiend, bar Goldberg, is undefeated. We don't discuss Goldberg. That is history. That is we sweep that under the carpet. We pretend like that doesn't exist. The Fiend obviously has a lot of momentum going in. He defeated Braun in the Swamp Fight, not as The Fiend, but as the Buzzard Bray. And The Fiend just doesn't lose, does he? So as much as of a monster Braun is being right now, I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he stands a chance at all. Obviously, The Fiend is going to win, and we're going to have a new Universal Champion. And I feel like Braun's been on the receiving end of some unfair criticism because he wasn't supposed to be the champion. You know, it was supposed to be Roman Reigns in this spot. And everyone was like, oh, Braun sucks, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like Braun's been a believable champ. You know, he runs through people. He's a big guy. You know, he's just doing what he's been given. There's not much else he can do because he's a replacement champ and they didn't really have a direction for him in the first place. So I don't really feel like this is Braun's fault that his reign has been boring. This has obviously been the fault of the booking and as he was a last-second replacement at WrestleMania, but his title run, it's been okay. It hasn't been great, obviously, but I don't think it's been terrible. Like, he had a great handicap match against Miz and Morrison. I really enjoyed that. That was probably one of my favorite matches of his run. But yeah, I don't think he's deserving all the hate. But The Fiend is going to be the new Universal Champion, and we're going to have The Fiend on top once again. And then Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose in a hair versus hair match. Now, I saw someone tweet that from a marketing standpoint, it would make sense to have a bald, badass Mandy Rose. But Sonya Deville's just been on fire with their promos and all the character development she's been doing recently and all these past weeks. I feel like Sonya Deville is white hot. I feel like she has to win this. I really feel like Sonya Deville is going to win, you know? I said bald, badass Mandy. I meant bald, badass Sonya, meaning Sonya would lose. I made confusion. But yeah. I think Sonya's got this in the bag. I think Sonya's going to win this match. So then we move on to what I believe is going to be the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. This is a tough match because both of them are extremely phenomenal. They've been on fire for months on end now. And Drew McIntyre is seemingly unstoppable. He's kicking out at one of everything. And he's Drew McIntyre. He's a WWE Championship. He dethroned the Beast Brock Lesnar. He's got everything going for him. But then there's Randy Orton, the sadistic heel. He's punting the heads off of everyone. He's the legend killer once again. But I feel like the way things have been going, initially I felt like Drew wasn't going to lose a championship. But in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I feel like they've really been putting a lot of faith in Orton. And that's leading me to believe that Randy Orton's going to walk out of SummerSlam as a WWE champion. So, yeah, that's everything. I guess I'd like to go a little bit more in depth because I don't know if they'd make Drew lose. Because I don't know if they change both world titles on the same show, on the same night. That's the only thing that makes me iffy about the McIntyre versus Orton match. But I'm putting my faith in Orton. I think Orton's going to win. I feel like he has more momentum. I feel like he has more cause to win. I feel like if anyone can beat Drew right now, it's Randy Orton. He stands the most chance. And he's the one who's gotten Drew the most disoriented, the most off his feet. He's caught Drew off guard, hit him with RKOs. Nobody's had him like this disadvantage before. So I feel like that's a sign that perhaps Randy's going to win. So that's why I'm picking Randy. And then there's the potential match. So for TakeOver, I'm not sure if they're going to put like LeRae and Tegan maybe on the pre-show. They were teasing that a little bit on NXT with Tegan's promo. And then there was also Finn Balor versus Thatcher as a rivalry. I'm not sure. They haven't really building it up all that much, so I'm not sure they'd put it on the show at all. But if they do, I think Finn Balor would beat Timothy Thatcher just because he's Finn Balor. He's amazing. He's been doing great stuff as a heel. I'm loving his work. And then if Tegan versus Candice happen, which I doubt even more than Balor versus Thatcher, probably Tegan because she's the face, and I don't think LeRae would win as much as I love Candice. I love both of them, so it should be a great match nonetheless. And then for the tag titles, which they've been building on SmackDown, which is tomorrow, we haven't seen that yet. So I believe they're going to announce a tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between Nakamura and Cesaro and the Lucha House Party, because that's what it's looking like. Grand Metalik, or it was either Metalik or Dorado knocked off Cesaro, or I don't even remember who was in the match. But one of the tag champs lost to one of the Lucha House Party members because Kalisto ran interference for some reason. But if that match does happen, I feel like it's quite obvious that anyone with a sane mind would say that Nakamura and Cesaro are 100% retaining because there's no chance that they're losing to those goofs, the Lucha House Party. But yeah, those have been my predictions. So, thank you for staying with me for 14 minutes and 13 seconds. And now for the awkward ending. Thank you. And goodbye. Oh, like, subscribe, and comment. And follow me on Twitter at big_dog_John.